Hello everyone, this is Ori Bloop. Welcome back to another Game Builder Garage tutorial. Today is going to be a pretty straightforward tutorial. Basically, I did UI for our first-person camera, but now we're going to be doing it for our 2D camera. So let's go ahead and get right into this. So what you're going to want to do first is go to Edit, and we're going to make our 2D camera. So go to Objects, Characters, and Person, and make sure that he is right here in the middle. I'm just doing that just so everything kind of works easier. For our inputs, we will be doing left stick and left and right. We don't need anything else just because for this tutorial, we are just looking at the complete basics of UI. So now what we need is go to Objects, Game Screen / Camera, and get our regular game screen. We're going to actually probably just adjust it a little bit, make sure it's in the middle, and we're just going to expand it a little bit. So, okay. Now what all you need to do is go ahead and connect it to our person, and if we go in the game, we can now see that our game screen follows our person. What you can do to make it a little bit more snappy is go into the game screen, and you can do horizontal tracking rate and vertical tracking rate. Since we don't have any vertical tracking rate, we're going to just change the horizontal tracking rate to 1. So I just moved it all the way to 1. Now if we go in the game, it's a lot more snappier, and it doesn't really fall back from our character. It's very snappy. And I'm just going to actually move it up just a little bit just to see how that kind of looks. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. But now let's go ahead and go into the actual UI interface. So what we're going to do is go to Objects, Game Screen / Camera, and get our, go to First Person and get our head. We could just put that anywhere. It doesn't really necessarily matter. But basically what this head will do is it will, it's kind of hard to explain how the head completely works, but it's going in the same spot as our game screen camera. So basically anything we attach to this head is basically going to show as the camera as well. So what we can do is we're going to go to Objects and Simple Objects and get our box. We're going to go ahead and connect that head, and we're going to go into the box and change some things. So for the size, I did the calculations a little bit already, so I'm just going to be putting in my variables. You can obviously change these, but Z is going to be 2, and then Y is 1. Y is 0.10, and then X is 0.10. And we're going to go ahead and just have solid on. I'll turn on visible just so you guys can see in the game. And then we want to make sure that this is X plus and Y negative, because our health bar is going to be showing on the bottom part of the screen. You can change that by putting X negative and Y plus, but we're going to have it at the bottom. So if we go ahead and look in the game now, we can now see if we move left or right, we have this box that follows our player basically. Now all we have to do is we can go back into that and make that invisible. And what we're going to do now is make our actual health bar, or our HP bar. That's what I called the texture. I have a texture actually all the way over here. This is what I'm going to be using once I edit this box. So for this box, this is a new box by the way, we're going to connect that to our previous box, and we're going to change some of the things in there. So make sure movable is always on, because these objects are moving, and we need solid on, but we could turn off invisible since visible because we have a texture, and we can turn off these two. And then for the connection point, it's going to be Z negative and Z plus, which is basically shown in front. I'm going to actually show you guys before I make it invisible. So now that we have this box, we can't see our character because we have to scale down the box. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to match this up with my texture, so 0.20, and then these are going to be both 0.10. So now if we look at the thing, now we have this box. that just shows on the screen. And you can basically replace this with a texture. You can replace this with like a number counter or text or anything basically you guys can imagine, as long as it can connect to this original box. We're going to go ahead and make this invisible, and we're going to go ahead and get our texture. I'll open up the texture so you guys can see if you guys want to copy it. But it's a really basic HP, and then it's just a green bar basically. I made this literally in like 2 minutes, so it's not hard to make. But basically, if we wanted to program it, that's going to be in another video. I'll definitely show that later. But all we need to do now is attach it to our box. And let me make sure, yeah, our box is invisible. So now if we go ahead and look in the game, we can now see that we have a perfect HP bar at the bottom. And we can move freely. It does look like there's a little bit of movement for the HP bar, but it's not really noticeable to for it to not, I guess, display properly. I think it looks great, and hopefully I do a video soon on how to actually make the HP bar work, because I really want it to basically go lower and lower and lower until eventually you actually die. But I think for now that is the end of our tutorial. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Hopefully I wasn't going too fast, but thank you guys for watching, and make sure to comment any other tutorials that you guys have in mind, and bye. Yep.